If you like a really thick sauce or you want like a creamy sauce, you can actually add you some heavy whipping cream into this and it'll give you a nice thick creamy sauce. Curlinda here with Curlinda Can Cook, and today we're going to be making shrimp linguine. So let's get ready, let's get set, let's get cooking. The first thing that I'm going to show you here, what we have is we have a 16-ounce box of linguine noodles that we're going to be adding to this water that we brought up to a boil. We have it seasoned with our salt and a little bit of olive oil. Now what I'm going to do is just pour these out right over the pot, so if any broken pieces are in there, they'll fall in the pot and not all over my stove. And I'm just going to allow them to lay there just like that. And in a few minutes, they'll be able to wilt down into our pot so that we can get everything stirred right together. Once we get these going, because these are going to take the longest to cook. So once we get our noodles going and get our noodles al dente, we'll be able to get started with our shrimp. So let's let our noodles do their thing and we'll be back. Alright y'all, so now that we have our noodles going on our stove, let me show you our ingredients that we're going to be using for this dish. We have here 1 cup of seafood stock, okay, and with your seafood stock, the way that you make that, we have our shrimp here, 1 pound of shrimp that we peeled and deveined. I just took the shrimp shells and put them in a pan with some water, and I allowed them to come to a boil with a little bit of onion, some salt and pepper to make a nice stock, okay. I also have here 8 ounces of diced tomatoes. I have 1 can of tomato sauce, which we're only going to use about a cup of that, which is roughly about a half of a can. I have 1 chopped onion, 1 tablespoon of garlic paste, 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I have some chopped parsley here. I have some lemon that we're going to use to just sprinkle on as a garnish when we're done. We have some black pepper, some basil. You can use fresh basil if you want to, but we have our basil, some salt, our marsala cooking wine. If you have white cooking wine, you can use that. But I have the marsala cooking wine, as well as, this is totally optional, but I have some freshly shredded Parmesan cheese that I'm going to put on the top. Alright, so let me show you how we're going to put this all together. Alright, now so here's how we are going to put everything together. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to coat our pan with about a good 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to give that a good stir around in our pan. Now, I'm using garlic paste, okay? Now, if you are using like regular garlic, that would be your minced garlic or some chopped garlic. Start this with your garlic and then add your onions. You don't want your garlic to burn, but what we're going to do is get this started with cooking our onions first. And while our onions get started cooking, we're going to bring them up to where they start to saute. Right now, as you can see, our pan is not hot enough for our onions to start to do their thing. So we're just going to let this come up and let them start to saute. In the meantime, we're going to check our noodles to make sure that our noodles aren't overcooking. And if they're ready, we're going to just go ahead and take them off of the stove. Alright, so we have our onions going here. And we are just going to let these saute down some until they start to become translucent. And then we are going to add in our garlic paste just until we get the flavor accentuated from our garlic paste. And what I mean by that is it's going to become very, very fragrant. You'll be able to smell, you know, a really nice scent of the garlic. You don't want to overcook your garlic, because if you do, your garlic becomes bitter, okay? So that's why, since I have the garlic paste, that's why I'm doing these onions first, because I don't want that bitter aftertaste in my food. As you can see here, our onions are really coming up to a nice translucent look. So what we're going to do is go ahead now and add in our garlic paste. And we're just going to give this a quick stirring. And again, you don't want to burn this. Even if you're using your minced garlic. Like I said, you do not want your garlic to burn, because you don't want it to get all bitter in your dish, okay? And y'all, this dish right here is so quick and easy to make. Like, you can make this in under 30 minutes. If you are really trying to impress somebody, this is a really nice dish to make an impression. What we're going to do is go ahead and throw in our little red pepper flakes. Y'all, this smells so good. The garlic has come up in this like OMG. Alright, now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our seafood stock. And like I said, the way I did that was I took the shells that I had from my shrimp and brought those to a boil in some water with some salt and pepper and onion. There we go. So I brought that to a boil with some salt and pepper and onion, just so that it can really infuse the flavor of the shrimp into the stock. So now that we have this cooking up, y'all, what we're going to do is add 1 cup of the tomato sauce. And like I said, that's about a half of our can. And we're going to pour this right over in here. And we're going to stir this in, okay, like so. And we are also going to add our tomatoes. And we're going to let all of this come up to a good boil. Isn't that pretty, y'all? But we're going to allow all of this to come up to a good boil. And what happens when this come up to a boil, our sauce is going to reduce. Okay? So let's let this reduce some, and I'll be back to show you what happens next. Alright, y'all, as you can see, we have now reduced our sauce for our linguine. And what we're going to do next, now that we have that reduced by about half, we are going to add 2 tablespoons of our Marsala cooking wine into this. And as I mentioned, if you have white wine, you can use your white wine. That is totally up to you. But, you know, for what I have, I'm using the Marsala cooking wine, because that's what I have in my kitchen. So, that's that for that. And then I'm going to add salt, pepper, and basil to taste. So I'm going to go ahead and add my basil. And as I said, if you have fresh basil, you can add you some fresh basil. That's our black pepper. And we're just sprinkling a little bit of salt. And I'm going to give this a good stir. And as y'all can see, as it's sitting here cooking, it is getting thicker. And that's what you want. The good thing with this is that you want the thickness to it, but you don't want it to be so thick like spaghetti sauce, because this is not spaghetti sauce. It's supposed to be a thinner sauce to go on top of your noodles than spaghetti. Yes, you want to coat your noodles but you don't want it as thick as spaghetti sauce. Also, if you like a really thick sauce, or you want like a creamy sauce, you can actually add you some heavy whipping cream into this, and it'll give you a nice thick creamy sauce. I'm not adding it because when it comes to my shrimp linguine, I don't care for a creamy sauce. Some of my pastas I do make a creamy sauce, but that's just a, for you all who like creamy sauce, that's how you can make this sauce creamy. So I'm just gonna taste this just to see if it's where I want it at. That's good. Now what we're going to do is let this cook for about another 5 minutes so that the alcohol can cook off of it. And you'll have a really nice flavor when all you have left is the marsala wine. So we're just going to let this keep cooking for about 5 minutes. And when we come back, we're going to be able to add our shrimp. Now that our sauce has cooked down, we are going to go ahead and add our shrimp. And what we want to do is just let our shrimp cook until they start to turn pink, okay? You don't want to overcook your shrimp because you don't want chewy, gummy shrimp. You want your shrimp to be just right done. And it doesn't take long for your shrimp to cook, maybe about a good 5 minutes, if that. Because shrimp, when you overcook them, there is no turning back, okay? So you want to make sure that you add them last. And we want to try to get them all in our sauce as much as possible so they can kind of cook pretty much evenly at the same time. Okay, y'all, so our shrimp are almost done. They have literally only been in here for about 2 minutes, and you see what's happening. One reason why I want to show you this is because, as I told you, we don't want to overcook them. So 2 things we're about to do. Let's go ahead and add us some parsley in here. Give us some nice color into our dish. Okay. And then we're also going to add our linguine noodles back in here. So here we go. We are going to add our linguine noodles. Like so. And we're going to fold our noodles right over into our sauce. Okay? That way, everything is going to get done. We're heating our noodles back up. Not that they got cold, but they did cool down because we took them off the fire. Okay? So, we're heating our noodles back up. We're stirring our shrimp in. And y'all see that, y'all? You see how this sauce is thin? As I told you, this sauce is not supposed to be like spaghetti sauce. This is a different sauce, so it's going to coat your noodle a different way, okay? But this sauce made enough to coat our whole pound of linguine noodles, all right? And so that's what you want. Everything to be nice and evenly coated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn my stove off because the eye under there is still hot. So it's still going to be cooking, and we don't want it to overcook our shrimp. So I'm going to remove our strainer. Y'all, this smells so good. Now, the good thing is we have a whole pound of shrimp in here. So, every time we take a bite, we're going to be biting on some shrimp. And you see how your shrimp are nice and pink? They're nice and evenly done, and they're not overdone. Isn't that beautiful? And like I said, this dish, if you're trying to impress someone, this is a good dish to make. Okay? Make it for your in-laws. So, you know, when your mother-in-law come over, make it for her. Make it for your significant other. If you're having a date night and you just want to do something special at home, make this dish. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move this off of this eye because I don't want it to keep cooking. And then we're going to plate up so that we can eat up. Alright, y'all, so we're going to get everything plated up over here. Make sure we have more shrimp. Let's dig in there and get some shrimp out of there. Now let's add a little more noodles here. And what we're going to do is finish this off with another sprinkle of parsley, like so. And I'm just going to sit him some lemon right there on the side so that he can drizzle his own lemon. And there you have it. You have your very own bowl of, well, not even a bowl, honey. You have a whole pan of your very own shrimp linguine that you made at home. What you see here is I decided to go ahead and toast my husband some garlic bread because he loves garlic bread with his pasta. So went ahead and made him some. But here you go, guys. There you have it. Shrimp linguine. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to share this video with a friend, a family member, a neighbor, a co-worker, anybody who you think might be impressed with making this dish to make an impression on somebody else. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.